AI image generators can output just about anything, but can they recreate characters from Netflix's hit League of Legends series, Arcane? In this video, I'll be prompting Microsoft Designer with descriptions of Zaun and Piltover's most iconic heroes and villains to see how similar or different the AI interpretations are.
Totally!
Let's start with the loose cannon herself, Jinx. So based on my prompts, this is about as close as I could get her. She's given off real strong Jinx vibes. I think if a casual League of Legends player or Arcane viewer saw this picture, they'd say, yeah, that's Jinx. She's got the blue hair, it's in braids, it's not exactly the right color, but it's Jinx's iconic blue braided hair, so I think that really helps to sell it. She's got purple eyes, not exactly the right color purple. She's got her crazy look on her face, with this weird eye makeup they decided to give her and the purple lipstick because it's just guessing. And then she's got this weird blue crap leaking from her eyes and her nose partially. I don't know what's up with that. Her collar is not a part of her tank top, but it's just a separate collar. She's got the blue cloud tattoos. They're not perfect, of course, because AI is not good with details, but she's close enough. She at least looks like the store brand version of Jinx. The AI does kind of give her like a Harley Quinn e-girl kind of vibe, which is weird. And one of the problems I kept running into was I kept wanting to give her pigtails and not braids. Some of these kind of look like a deranged Hatsune Miku or something, but overall, Jinx has such a distinct look and character that even if you have some flaws and inconsistencies, she's still pretty recognizable as being Jinx, so not bad. And just as a bonus, I prompted Magic Hour to do photorealistic cosplays of Jinx, so here are two of my favorites. Notice Magic Hour didn't add any additional unnecessary makeup. The one on the left almost looks like a real photograph, where the one on the right is definitely more uncanny, but I think they both look pretty cool. Let's move on to Jinx's sister, the Piltover Enforcer, Vi. Okay, here's my favorite Vi. Her hair probably could be a bit more red. I could have prompted, rather than just pink hair, to be kind of red-pink. I initially prompted for gray-blue eyes. As you can see, it's definitely leaning towards blue, so I eventually just changed it to gray eyes. It went a little crazy with the ear piercings, even giving her this weird tunnel-looking thing. She's got the Vi tattoo. It's not Roman numerals, it's not perfect, but it's there. And it's in about the right spot. Designer seems to kind of take what I prompt and run with it. Like if I say she has a gear tattoo on her neck, then it decides that her whole neck is covered in gear tattoos. Her mechanical gauntlet is there. It's just not as oversized as I would have liked it. But I think overall, this is recognizable as being Vi. Side by side here, you can definitely tell they're supposed to be the same person. And I think even without the reference, you may still be able to look at this picture and say, that's Vi from League of Legends or Arcane. The AI interpretation is definitely more steampunk, cyberpunk. It kept giving her facial piercings and facial augments and such. I could probably be convinced that this was a character from some cyberpunk animated series or comic book. And of course, the AI is notoriously giving the gauntlets like 6 fingers sometimes. I want to give this one an honorable mention because it almost looks like it could be an actual in-game emote. And once again, here's Magic Hour's photorealistic Vi cosplay, which is pretty good except for the weird looking gauntlets. Next up is Little Man, aka Ekko. Okay, he's got the dreadlocks all brushed to one side. Most of them are white. He's got the green jacket, he's got the orange scarf, but without the hourglass face paint, he loses a lot of recognizability. And once again, the AI gave him unnecessary ear piercings and tattoos. As you can see, the face paint is really inconsistent. I couldn't get it to do the big hourglass on the nose and forehead, and without that, he's not really Ekko. And for our final Zaunite, we have Silco. This one has a few inconsistencies, but I think even side by side like this, it looks pretty good. The hair is definitely different. And I suppose his face could be more weathered in the AI interpretation. And it also seems like his eye is a bit more robotic, like he's a cyborg or something. The issue I had when generating this was that he either looked too much like an evil cyborg or like Two-Face from Batman. In retrospect, I probably could have changed his skin tone and hair color to match better, because I think he really does need the side-by-side to be identified as Silco. Otherwise, he's pretty generic looking. Speaking of generic looking, next up we have Jace. Unfortunately, Jace just doesn't have a lot of defining physical characteristics. He basically looks like a generic mobile game protagonist. He's just a handsome white guy with a giant mechanical golden hammer. And I think he'd be better suited as a contestant on The Bachelorette. Next up, we have Piltover's sheriff, Caitlyn. Fortunately for Caitlyn, she has some distinctive features that make her very recognizable. I chose not to include her hat in my prompt because I didn't really know how to describe this weird looking thing, but she's got the blue hair, she's got the frilled collar and the kind of Victorian steampunk inspired constable uniform, but she just wouldn't be Caitlyn without her Hex Tech powered rifle. And the AI came up with some pretty interesting interpretations of that. In some of these images, she has more of a pistol rather than a rifle, which I prompted for. If I were to see this character design in some crappy mobile game, I would say, hey, that's Caitlyn from League of Legends. And lastly, we have the big swingin' donger himself, Heimerdinger. This one was especially difficult because Heimerdinger is a fantasy mythical creature, so there's not really a point of reference for me to describe him. I kind of have to describe his physical characteristics, and the AI has to make its own interpretation just based on that. So it gave me some wildly varying results and some pretty disturbing images. As you can see, most of these images are just a cat with a mustache. That's about the best it could come up with. I struggled to get the ears or the head shape right. Because AI is not good with specifics, it's really difficult to recreate something one for one just based on its description. You know, without saying Heimerdinger from League of Legends, this is as close as I could get. And I think we can all agree that Heimerdinger is pretty cute, but some of these are just freaks of nature, abominations. Obviously, AI has a much easier time generating human characters. In closing, this was a fun experiment. The AI definitely recreated some of these characters better than others, so stay tuned if you want to see me try this again with other League of Legends characters, or even characters from other games. Thanks for watching.